that I do freelance writing. There's this one company that I've worked with for a few years now, and basically I would write blog articles for them. And
Who is it?
how else can I say it? Recently, I lost this job to AI.
How much do you want to bet freelance means he advertises on Fiverr?
And I haven't been assigned anything recently. In the past few months, they've been pretty quiet, which is obviously unusual because I would usually get around 3 to 4 articles. But when I actually clicked on the blog page for their site, I was kind of shocked to see what I saw.
So we're not going to name the company. We're not going to show any example articles. This is all just your word. Cool.
They had like 4 full-length blog articles.
What? Why? Why? This is the evidence you're showing? You're redacting this. You're just showing me a black fucking bar. I lost my freelance writing job to AI.
Talk about. I wasn't sure if I should, but fuck it. If you've watched my channel for a while now, you'll know that I talk about how I do freelance work and I have
Okay, because I'm gonna pause and react to stuff. How much do you want to bet freelance means he advertises on Fiverr? I have a few different gigs. I do freelance work. That's what he just said. Usually if they're not specific, like I do freelance work for blah. Like a lot of times it's I do freelance work for Turkey Tom. You know, I do his editing, I do his writing on his scripts or whatever. Because Tom uses writers. Tom uses, you know, a lot of YouTubers do. Bigger YouTubers. But usually if they don't say who they freelance for, it means Fiverr. But we'll see. How did AI take your job, bud?
a few different gigs that I do. And one of them, which I believe I've mentioned before, is that I do freelance writing. There's this one company that I've worked with for a few years now, and basically I would write blog articles for them. And
who is it?
How else can I say it? Recently, I lost this job to AI.
I don't believe any of this. Anyone that mad that they've lost their job to AI, if they were freelance anyway, then you're not under an NDA. You weren't an employee. You didn't have to sign anything to work for them. It's just a blog. Name it. Name the site. You would be calling them out. This is a call out for company. Like he's naming nothing.
I didn't actually get fired. It's not like they came to me and said, yo, we're replacing you with AI. Just put the fries in the bag, little bro.
I mean, you're
Because
freelance.
You, don't really
You
get
just
fired
don't-
from a freelance
Right,
gig.
you don't get fired
It's
from a
more
freelance
so a
gig. You just
matter
don't get
of
hired
whether
again.
Or not they need you and whether or not they'll keep assigning you tasks. And I haven't been assigned anything recently. In the past few months, they've been pretty quiet, which is obviously unusual because I would usually get around 3 to 4 articles a month.
Maybe they found a
and
different
it wasn't
writer.
The main source of
How do
my
you know it was
income,
AI?
But it was a decent chunk of it, and
Maybe they
just
found a
nice
better
little
writer.
Side hustle I had going. In fact, I'd been working with them since back in college just to make some money on the side. But anyways, it was like I haven't heard from them for a while. They haven't been giving me new articles to write, so I was curious.
Maybe
One
they're taking
day
their
I
company in a
decided
different
to
direction.
Go look on their website, check out their blog section, just to see what's going on. Like, did they just stop publishing blog articles because they're focusing on other aspects of the business?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what I
they're
would assume.
hiring new people to write.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't do
All
a
the
good
things I
enough
just
job.
assumed.
Maybe they just slowed down a bit since we're reaching the end of the year and the holiday season and all of that. But when I actually clicked on the blog page for their site, I was kind of shocked to see what I saw. Just for more
gonna show it?
context, though, I did know that they worked with other freelance writers, but most of the articles on
So we're not going to name the company. We're not going to show any example articles. This is all just your word. Cool.
their site were written by me. I'd say like 60 to 70%
Wow.
of them at least. Like I said, it would be
Wow.
around 3 to 4 per month from me, 1 or 2 maybe from a different writer, and that would come out to about 1 new blog article per week published on their site at best.
Uh-huh.
Typically even a little less because it takes some
No
extra
site,
time.
no site name, no example, no proof. Just, I got fired by AI because I think it's AI. Like, okay. I'm gonna keep watching to see if he shows anything, but this is either bait or you're not as good at writing as you think you are. They found a better writer, or the website changed in some way, change management or something, and they're just going in a different direction. There's a million business reasons why they just would stop using freelancers, or you specifically. But sure, let's blame AI because it's the boogeyman that everyone wants to blame for everything now.
Time to actually get it published. And again, this is from the combined effort of me and these other writers. But this time when I checked their blog section of the website, I saw that they had like 4 full-length blog articles.
What? Why? This is the evidence you're showing? You're redacting this. You're just showing me a black fucking bar. This is worthless. This is nothing. Black fucking. This is. Why are you even showing this? Show the article. Like, this has got to be like the first 4 sentences of an article. Like, it doesn't. Like, there's nothing here to redact. It's not showing the. Like, even if you're trying to protect privacy for some reason, you're not showing any website name with this little section of the website. This is probably just the title. Sure. I'd even give it to you for censoring that part of the title. Maybe it's got the writer's name or the website on it. But the body of it, the beginning of the article, why are we censoring that and only not censoring holiday guest visit? Okay.
All published within 1 week. And obviously none of them were from me. So
Hold on, what did that say?
All published within 1 week.
Actually, only 4 days. Okay.
And obviously none of them were from me. So it looked like they're just pumping out articles.
Looks like you're just salty.
Mass, and they were pretty good quality too. So it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. They literally went from like a few blog posts a month, maybe once a week at best, to like I think 4 in a single week. And that's a pretty big improvement.
So the explanation for that could be they've decided to refocus their company and put more effort into their blog site. Maybe they came under new management and he said, hey, our blog site could probably do better. I bet we could get more traffic there. Why don't we hire more freelance writers so we can pump out more articles onto it? Maybe they just did that. That's pretty common. It's how Kotaku got big. They did it before AI. That's literally how Kotaku stayed afloat after the birth of the internet and the birth of social media kind of killed news websites because now everyone just shares stuff on social media. A lot of companies did that, but show me how it's AI. How is it obvious?
The reason why I know that, even though they didn't specifically say like, oh, we're doing this, is because I was actually warned about it beforehand. I know that this company has been experimenting with AI tools for a while now, and
that could mean a lot of things.
Earlier in the year, they actually told me about it as like a reason to lower my pay. They actually asked me to switch over to creating AI generated articles for a much lower rate. They were saying like, hey, a lot of companies.
Okay, I mean, that's something worth calling someone out on. There's nothing wrong with them telling you to switch over to AI-powered tools. You could use AI to crawl the internet for trending topics. You could use AI to, research stuff for you. If you're just posting the AI stuff, that's bad. But if they're telling you to use it and still using you as a freelancer, it sounds like they're saying, hey, AI can make your job easier and be less work for you. You don't have to write every single word. You can go through and edit the AI. You can use them for research, proofread what the AI wrote, make sure it's accurate, add your own stuff to it. Yeah, it's a tool. It's like using spell check instead of hiring a proofreader. Like proofreaders used to be a thing, then spell check was invented. Now we just use that. Yeah, like it's still a tool. I want to know this company's name. I want to know more information. This is all so fucking vague.
Companies are using AI now. We were thinking about doing the same, but we still want to keep you around, have you as part of the team. But instead, we can just have you be
cutting your pay for it sucks because you're still doing the work.
A little bit of human edits here and there, and we'll still pay you, but at a lower rate. And obviously, I didn't want to do that. I still wanted to make my money, so I sort of negotiated. At the time, I guess they still needed me, so we just kept the same rate for my original articles, and that's how it was going until recently. But it always was in the back of my mind that they could replace me with AI at any.
I mean, you're not getting replaced. It sounds like the role of your job is just changing a little bit. That's how new technology works. You're still needed. Just your role changes a little bit. Instead of being a writer and having to do everything from scratch, you're more of an editor now. You're going through, you're editing things for context, you're fact checking, you're making sure that it's cohesive, and you're touching things up and fixing them. Like that's what editors do. That's an editor's job. It's kind of a promotion. Editors tend to be above writers. Like that should have been part of your negotiation to ask for more pay. Is you're basically asking me to be an editor for a robot that can produce more than any human could. If anything, I should be getting more money for this job rather than less, because now I'm the editor of a newsroom that has an infinite number of people in it. That's how I would have negotiated that. But sure, kid, keep going.
Any time if they really wanted to. That's just the nature of the business, and it's just hard to compete with AI nowadays. And it's not even like I wasn't using any AI to begin with either. Like even with my original articles.
So you're admitting that you did it yourself.
I did a rough draft on my own, but I still would use.
So you were literally already doing the thing they're asking you to do. All you had to do was negotiate for your price to either stay the same or not be less.
Like ChatGPT and ask them, hey, can you help me polish it up and fix any typos?
Oh, so you're doing it in reverse.
That you might think is
you're using the AI to fix your shit instead of you fixing the AI stuff.
Using AI as well, because it saved me some time and made the writing a lot better. If you don't know already, ChatGPT, and especially like the paid version of it, it's extremely powerful. It can do a lot of stuff.
It's a good tool.
And I've experimented with it. The company I worked with, they've experimented with it, and it can generate literally entire 1,000-word blog articles within seconds, all for free, basically. So it's like, how can I compete with that? Honestly, I don't blame them.
You're not competing with it. You're working with it. You're only competing with it if you're not involved in the process. If they're generating 1,000-word blog articles in seconds and posting them raw without any human input at all, then you're being replaced. Doesn't sound like that's what they were doing. It sounds like they were doing it so that they could produce more content faster. And now, instead of writing one article from scratch a couple times a week and getting paid a lot, you're getting paid. In fact, if they lower your pay rate, let's say you're getting $5 an article, but you can only do 2 a week because it takes so much time to write. And they say, hey, we'll give you $3 an article, but AI is going to write most of the articles. You're just going to go through and touch them up and proofread them and add context and fact check them. And now you can do 6 a week where you're getting paid less per article, but you're producing more articles per week. That's a raise, not a pay cut. Like, I need more information. Like, you've been very vague on this.
For using AI instead of having to pay me a decent amount of money. Like, if I were running a company, I'd probably also do the same if I wanted to maximize my profits. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. Like,
yeah, but they could do both. Like, the proper use of the tool would be, we can put out more articles. We're paying the humans less per article because they're not having to spend as much time writing the article. We give them an article written by AI, ask them to go through it real quick, make sure it looks good, make sure it looks like it's done by a human, correct its mistakes, fact check it if needed, and then throw it up. So now you can do 3 articles a day instead of 1, where you're getting paid less per article, but you're doing 3 times as many articles. That equals more money. And it's more money for them because the more articles they can post, the more articles they can get to show up in Google searches, the more topics that they can extend their reach to, and the more clicks and traffic their site's going to get. It sounds like it may have been a win for everyone involved.
In the past, there would be this whole workflow for getting an article published.
All right, what's his workflow? Write article, review article, find and add images, add article to website, update content tracker, payment made, publish with images, contact tracker is updated, publish, content approved. So it sounds like it may even be eliminating multiple parts of that for you. So your job process takes less work, meaning you can produce more articles. You're doing them for less money, but you're producing more. Because now you don't have to write the article. You can simply skip to the review the article step. And if their AI chat thing, if their AI was adding images, then you're just checking the images and make sure they're relevant real quick. If not, okay, then you're doing the add images part. Add article to website. Sounds like that part's already done. It's already there and hidden waiting for you. So you can skip that part. Content tracker, I'm guessing that it probably already added that. So you're just going to review the tags and make sure they're relevant to the article. Makes that part easier. Then you get paid. Then you publish it with images. So it sounds like you're still finding the images. You're still reviewing the article. You're doing less steps. So of course you're getting less money, but you're also producing more content faster. So, okay. And his payments are, it looks like the 2 that were the closest together were 2 weeks apart, the 15th and the 30th. April 15th and 30th. were the two that were the closest together. So, looks like you weren't producing stuff that frequently for them anyway. If now you can produce more faster, you would have made more money.
I would get an article briefing assigned to me. I would usually finish up a draft, splitting up the work over the course of a few days, maybe like 5 to 6 hours total. Then I would send my draft back for revisions. They would send it back to me saying like, hey, there's some parts that we want you to change. I would make some final edits, and all of that would happen before the article could get published.
Yeah, so it sounds like it took days for you to get one article published. You're sending it to them, you're reviewing it, you're writing it, you're sending it to them so they can review it and then send it back to you and tell you what needs changed. Then you got to edit it again. It sounds like the first like 3 parts of that you guys get to skip, which means now instead of 1 article a week, you can do 2, maybe even 3. Yeah, sounds like you had the potential to double or triple your money, but you're doing it for less pay. So slightly less pay, but more paychecks. Jesus.
So it would be...
You're an Asian. You're supposed to be good at math. How is this not like clicking for you?
about a week-long process back and forth, and they paid me a decent amount, but now...
Was that racist?
Yeah, that's a stereotype, man.
Oh, well, this guy proves that stereotype's not always accurate. Good job, buddy. Fight the power.
Fight the power is freaking crazy.
This is just... Yeah. Should write an article about that, man. It's not bitching about AI.
You're gonna get canceled.
With AI, they
Can't cancel me now. Trump's in office. Free speech is back,
shit.
baby.
can again generate an article, let's just say
Not free
80 to
speech, anything
90%
is that.
of the quality of that, but they can do it within seconds, minutes at most, and don't have to pay ChatGPT aside from whatever subscription cost it might be.
Yeah, but
And it's
ChatGPT
not
is just
even
one part of that whole
ChatGPT, by
process
the way.
that you
That's
just listed.
What I use, what most people use,
Or
there's
whatever
so
AI.
many different AIs now, some of them in specialized areas. Like, for example, the platform that I would use to write my articles was this thing called Phrase. I don't know, maybe if you're also in the freelance writing space, you might be familiar with it. But it's essentially like a platform where, as you write, it helps you keep track of SEO, keywords, and other important things. But
There's a lot of
earlier
different
this
tools to
year,
do
I
that.
believe, it came out with their own generative AI, which can also just write an entire article.
Here we go. Hold on. Let's make this bigger. Oh, this isn't the... You're just defining what SEO is. I thought you were going to show the actual like website and stuff. Oh, no. You're just showing us the tools that you use. This is the worst call-out video ever. I'm calling out this mystery company for using mystery AI. I'm not sure if they're even using or which one it is. It could be this. It could be that. It feels like this. For not paying me money. I won't say how much I was making or how much I'm making now. But it's less, maybe. I don't know. I didn't take the job to see how it would work out. This is a nothing video. This is a nothing call out. Like, I'm beginning to think you didn't even work for a company. You're a Fiverr writer.
Article within the click of a button, but they're also specialized in incorporating SEO keywords and stuff like that. So yeah, I've said it a lot of times before, but just from the market standpoint, how can I compete with that as a human being who needs much more money and much more time for that? This is just where the world is going.
That's saving you time.
Like, again, maybe in terms of quality, I can write an article just as good, even better, but asking me to do it over the course of a few days and overall a week versus AI doing it within a few seconds for really no money.
But that's not what they asked you to do. You outline what they asked you to do. They didn't ask you to compete with the AI. They asked you to work alongside it. It's literally taking steps out of your process. It's still your writing. It's still your article with your name attached to it. You just got to skip a lot of the steps in the article writing process.
Money at all. It's an easy choice if you're the one who's running the business. I get it. And nowadays, if you're in really any industry where AI is playing a role, you're not only just competing against like ChatGPT,
You're not competing against
or
it.
one specific AI. There are just so many different programs nowadays. AIs are competing against each other and making that even a saturated market.
I can't. Yeah, the AIs are competing against each other. I can't make this clear enough. I hate this mentality so fucking much. I don't know how like long this learning process is going to be for people to understand that you are not competing against the AI. It is not your competition. It is your tool. You just upgraded from a screwdriver to a power drill. That's all. That is all this is. If you keep seeing it as your enemy, then you will get left behind. That is the reality. That is how this will end. You can either embrace it and learn to work with it or get left behind. Those are your options. Period. It is going nowhere. And it will only get better from here. So getting in early and learning how it works early so you can learn how to manipulate it and work with it will make you very valuable, as opposed to someone who came in after it became the standard and has to learn it from scratch.
All of the companies behind them are competing with each other to try to make the best AI, so these kinds of tools are only going to become more powerful.
Yeah, like you even still call them tools. Like you understand they're tools, but then you then you say you're competing with them. Like, no carpenter says he's competing with his hammer. That's not what a tool is. That's not how that works. How do you understand in one breath it's a tool, but in the next breath think it's trying to take your job? It can't be both.
As we head further and further into the future. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm cooked. Maybe we're cooked. Just time to put the fries in the bag, I guess.
Sounds
But
like your
it's
brain's
like,
cooked.
How can you not be at least a little bit concerned? Because AI is...
For all the
doing
reasons
jobs that
I just
require
mentioned.
Some level of human creativity, like writing. It's crazy that ChatGPT can even do that.
No, ChatGPT cannot be creative. No AI can be creative. I cannot stress this enough. There is not a single AI on the planet that can produce something original and new. It can only make things from existing things. It cannot produce something wholly original. That is a human element only humans can do right now. Maybe in the future they'll find a way, but right now, all these AIs are trained on things that already exist. They cannot pull information from thin air or make something new up. That's a human trait. That's your role now. That's what you do.
Now, I can try my best, but can't possibly compete with the pure efficiency of it, and neither can anyone really. So
No, you can't compete with the efficiency, but you can use that efficiency to make your creative process faster, so you can be more creative. It sounds like you're just not a very good writer. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, kid, but it sounds like you're not a very good writer. You didn't get fired. You could have kept your job. You could have been more creative, and you could have used this tool to make yourself probably exponentially more income. But instead, you saw it as the enemy, and you've been defeated. It's not your enemy. It is a tool. You need to be more creative. Doesn't sound like, I don't know, doesn't sound like you're a very good writer. You've given us no example of your work. You haven't shown yours compared to that. Like, I'd love to see some of your writing, but you've given no examples of anything. The few screenshots you bothered to edit into your video were just edited black bars.
So maybe I just got unlucky. Maybe this isn't something you'll have to worry about. Maybe it'll never happen to you. I hope it never does. But I'm kind of curious though, like if something similar has happened to you where your job or at least part of it has been replaced by AI. Feel free to share it in the comments because I'd really be interested in hearing that. But overall, I just want to share my experience. I'm not making this video to say like, oh, you should feel bad for me. I'm so sad
I don't.
now I lost my job.
I don't.
Again, like I have other sources.
You didn't lose your job, you
as well,
quit.
Since I'm sort of just like hustling, and I did kind of see it coming. This company sort of tried to warn me about it in advance, which is at least better than just like cutting me off immediately.
Doesn't sound like they tried to warn you. It sounds like they tried to prepare you for a new tool they were using and probably valued your feedback and wanted you to help test it and incorporate it into their business. They're learning with you, by the way. Sounds like you just weren't on their team.
But yeah, it's just something to keep in the back of your mind. Like, AI is here now. Your time has come, buddy. But
No.
I hope just on a societal
Wrong.
level, we can figure something out.
We
And
will.
just on a personal level,
You
one more
won't.
thing I wanted to say. Maybe you can take this even as advice if it's something you happen to
Oh,
agree
God.
with. But at least what I've noticed is that the only way to make sure that you won't be replaced in whatever you do is to make yourself irreplaceable. For example,
I'd already
job
said
I
how
would
to do
say
that.
That's irreplaceable is like being an athlete or something, or even some other forms of like manual labor, because we don't literally have robots or anything yet. But also
We
another
do.
form of job or
athlete.
whatever you want to call it that won't be replaced by AI is authentic
not a
content
doctor,
creation,
not like anything,
YouTube,
just an ath-
and that's
I mean, he kind of got it with the authentic content creation thing, but saying YouTube doesn't have AI on it. Boy, do I have some channels to show you, buddy. There are entire channels made entirely of AI right now. And they pump out videos for children daily. Like 8, 9 times a day. They're ass. But again, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds don't care. So they're making money. There's definitely AI on YouTube.
part of the reason why I'm doing this channel, along with the other travel and outdoors channel.
Let's be clear. The reason you're doing this channel and the only thing you've shown to show off of your work is your channel. You've shown off none of your writing, none of the websites you worked for, no examples of anything. The only like actual information you put in this video is advertisement for your YouTube channel, which is clearly not ready to be advertised. You got 2 whole videos on it. But you're making YouTube videos for money. You're making it for views and money, which is fine. That's why we all do it. But yeah.
That I recently started, so check that out if you're interested in that. But I realized that this is a way to make money that actually can't possibly be replaced by AI.
It can.
Because at the end of the day, AI can't replace the human experience.
That's what I said.
It can replicate the tasks that you do, but it can't replicate the experiences that you've lived or the stories that you have to tell.
How do you understand all of the things I've said and apply them in the reverse way? Like you completely understand all the stuff I've said. You've completely repeated the stuff I've said. You understand the function of AI and the function of you as a human. How have you not figured out how to make those 2 things work together and still see it as your enemy? I don't understand how you understand what I understand and came to the opposite conclusion. That makes no sense to me. You're a fucking moron.
The power of perspective.
You want to know the perspective here? You want to know the difference in the power of perspective? I'm not fucking salty. This kid's just salty. And or lazy. Because having to learn a whole new way to do something is hard. Your job would actually be easier if you take the time to learn it, but taking the time to learn something new is hard. So, Jesus fuck, man. AI is not your enemy. Okay? TV didn't kill radio, and AI is not your enemy. New technology pops up, society adapts to it, and it makes our lives better. This is just the next iteration of that. I don't understand this fucking AI boogeyman mentality that everyone has. Did everyone just binge watch Terminator on the same day and I didn't get the memo? Like, is that what happened? Jesus Christ.